Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hijab Wali and I am a student of Rehan School, Krimi campus. So today we have the very honorable and grateful guest whose name is Ma'am Sitwat. So let's go and talk to her and conversation the one topic. Hello ma'am, how are you?
Hello, hijab. Should I call you hijab or upwork wali?
Yes,
Which one? Hijab or upwork wali?
both. Hijab
Both
Wali.
upwork wali, theek hai. Oh, sorry. So before I start my introduction, a small one. So, what does it mean, upwork wali? What does it mean to you to be upwork wali?
Okay, so Upwork is a Amazon freelance platform, which like Upwork. This is a this is a freelancing platform which you can easily earn from Upwork, and here's you can offer your services like you teach English, French, many language you teach. So you offer your services on Upwork, and then you earn on Upwork. So this is
Wow,
Upwork.
you have to teach me about that. Okay, because I know languages, right? So with introduction, I get a bit nervous doing my introduction because I feel that I haven't achieved a lot of things, right? Um, but the skills that I have are that I'm fluent in English, Urdu, and French. And that is because of the countries that I used to live in with my parents. So my parents were my first teachers, and today I'm a French teacher. So my journey from the time that I was born till now, it's a lot. I am 54 years old. And when um, I was born in Pakistan, Karachi. And when I was a year old, my father, who was a banker, got transferred to Mauritius. You know where Mauritius is?
No, I don't know.
So, Mauritius is a small island near South Africa. And so, from Karachi to, we went to, on the Pakistani passport, we cannot go to South Africa or Israel. At that time, this was many years ago. This was like 53 years ago, I'm talking about. It was 1971. And the history behind it is there was also an India-Pakistan war going on at that time. So my father got transferred to Mauritius. We went with my father, my mother, my dadi, my grandmother, and my dada. And from there on, my journey with languages started. Mauritius is a bilingual country where French is spoken, English is spoken, Creole is also spoken. And of course, because my dada dadi used to be with us and my parents, we used to talk in Urdu. So from the age of 1 till the age of 9, I lived in Mauritius. Then we moved to back to Pakistan, and my father got transferred to Quetta. He was the zonal chief of Balochistan. He was a banker. From Quetta, we went to France, Paris, France. That's where he was posted. His office was on Champs-Élysées. It's a very big main avenue of Paris. Uh, it's a landmark. When people go to Paris, they want to go to Champs-Élysées, and my father's office was right there. So I grew up in a very privileged background with with and the roots were strong. My grandparents were always with us. So my dada dadi and my mother and father, they migrated from India to Pakistan, and from Pakistan now I live in Canada. I also migrated from, like my parents migrated from India to Pakistan, I migrated from Karachi to France, to Canada now. I live in Canada, and here I'm a French teacher. I teach children of all ages. I teach somebody like you. smart somebody. I love teaching intelligent, smart children who have a passion to learn. So I teach children from all ages. I teach baccalaureate level. Baccalaureate is it's a harder French. I teach that as well to high school students. I also teach French um, to people in the Canadian government who want to give professional exams. And right now, I've started a conversation class because my friends used to tell me, a friend who's a math teacher, a friend who owns an institute, she would tell me, teach us French. So recently, I started teaching French conversation, how to talk in French to my friends, to my sister-in-law. I'm also teaching to my bhabhi. I teach my friends, strangers. It's a group class, and I teach conversation. There's grammar, and I'm passionate about it. But my professional journey did not start with teaching. My professional journey, I wanted to be. You still here? I wanted to teach. I wanted to be a banker like my father, but life took a different turn. Um, I got married. It was a very tough marriage. I got separated, and I got divorced in Pakistan. I took khula, um, and after a few years, and my daughter was very sick at that time, and I migrated to Canada uh, with my 4-year-old. She was sick. She was very ill, and also she's deaf. So then from a carefree childhood, privileged childhood, I moved to adulthood, and I had a lot of responsibilities on me. I was a single mother. So my daughter started school here, and I also started school. As an adult, I went back to school. I wanted to communicate with my daughter. I wanted to talk to her in her language, which is Isharon ki Zaban. She's deaf, she cannot hear. So how's she going to communicate? So I learned American Sign Language. I went back to school. I took the pre-interpreter program in a local college here. It's also talks about deaf culture to hearing culture. Every language has a culture. Every country has a culture. So languages have culture too. It's the deaf culture versus the hearing culture. We are hearing, you and I, we can hear. So I had to learn about the deaf culture. I wanted to communicate with my daughter. And I did not realize, as a result of that, I got hired by the college. I started working in the deaf and disability services. And that went on for a few years. But so I wanted to be a banker because of my father. Maybe I wanted to become a sign language interpreter for my daughter. But I told you, I grew up in Mauritius and France. These are French-speaking countries. And I learned French, English, and Urdu by listening to it. And along the way, I got a bachelor's degree, and I also did some professional exams from the Ministry of Education in France. I got the DELF, DELF, and DALF. It's a French diploma, language diploma. Sorry, am I boring you? So now I'm a teacher, and teaching is my passion. So एक चीज उर्दू में कहूंगी, which is I can say it in English too, but उर्दू एक बहुत खूबसूरत ज़बान है, right? और some things I say in French and they have a different meaning in English. Some things I say in English and they mean differently. But Urdu जो मेरी मादरी ज़बान है और कौमी ज़बान है हमारी, कनाडा में भी रहकर, तो मेरी जो ज़िंदगी का सफ़र है, so इल्म था, I had इल्म था, शऊर बाद में आया, काबिलियत थी, ज़हनियत देर से आई. तालीम से हिकमत का सफर ठोकर खाकर ही आया. इल्म के साथ अमल और जज्बा बहुत जरूरी है. ये उम्र के साथ मैंने सीखा. Right? Did you understand it?
Yes, little bit I understand.
So, what I mean to say that with education, the application of it came later for me. It came with age. You know, you can have education, but the wisdom, the white hair that I have, which are hidden by all the uh, color that I put on my hair, but my hair is white, salt and pepper. It's gray. Um, but so the wisdom that I got with age, it came later. Education was there, but the wisdom came later. The wisdom to follow what my passion is. I'm passionate about languages. It's a skill that I have, and I want to impart this knowledge. French, to know languages is a very important uh, skill to have in the development. Just like Pakistan, we are in recession also. Canada is in recession as well. Inflation hai. Uh, it's very hard to find jobs. But in this inflationary economy, I'm able to provide for myself and my two daughters. I'm a single mother. I've got two daughters. My older one, with whom I migrated to Canada, and because of her, I migrated to Canada. I left the comfort of my father's home, the comfort of Pakistan, to come and work hard in Canada. It was because of my older daughter. I wanted for her to have good education. She's deaf. I did not see any, and plus she had medical needs, right? And Canada welcomed me. I am a proud Canadian, but I'm also a proud Pakistani, because one should not forget their roots. You know, like a tree can only bear fruits if the root is strong. Agar jade mazboot ho. If the roots are weak, the tree will fall down. So I'm like that tree with my roots in Pakistan, and my roots are very strong, right? And so I can bear fruits here. And Canada provided me a sanctuary. It provided me refuge. It was my journey from being a young, naive, educated girl to a woman who gained wisdom by living in this country. But I have to apply that wisdom. I have to give this wisdom that I have to others. I want to teach you French too. You teach me Upwork, and I teach you French. So that was my mini introduction. Sorry, I love to talk. And you're a very good listener. So tell me, what is your next question?
Yes, that's amazing. So my next question from you: what inspired you to start teaching French online via Zoom?
So what happened was the pandemic happened. And I was teaching French before as well, but it was on a very small level. It was maybe the kids from the neighborhoods. They would pay me little money, right? Minimum wage, which is around $17. Maybe $17, $18 is a lot in Pakistan, but $17 here is not a lot. So I started like that. But when pandemic happened, I did not know what to do. People were not coming into my house. So my journey from in-person learning to global learning. Now I can teach people from all over the world. I live in Mississauga. It's a city close to Toronto. I teach people in Vancouver. I teach people in Ottawa. They are different cities like Karachi, Islamabad, Lahore. I teach students. So the world opened to me. But before that, I had to learn about Zoom. I had no idea what Zoom was. Just like I want to learn from you, I want to learn what Upwork is. I am Sitwat Zoom Valley. Zoom, vroom, vroom, So my passion is, it's a skill that I have, and it became a passion. These last 4 years, my knowledge has increased. I'm a teacher, but I'm also a lifelong learner. I will never stop to learn. Um, does that answer your question? So pandemic happened, and in person became online.
Okay, thank you so much for your amazing answer. So, can you tell me how do you use Google Workspace in your French classes?
You have such intelligent questions. Oh my goodness. And you're only 14 years old. My goodness. Your parents must be so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Are you proud of yourself as well?
Yes.
Good. Because self क्या कहते हैं उसको, sense of self is very important. ये मुझे wisdom के साथ आया. I learned it with wisdom. At 14 years old, I was nothing like you. I was like playing and reading. As you see, I've got a lot of books. I love to read. I love to read paper. My phone is too small and my eyesight is weak. So it's like, oh, it's hard to read books on my phone. So, okay, I got I got distracted. So, what was your question again? I got
Yes. So,
impressed by you.
yes. So, how do you use Google Workspace in your French classes?
Okay, how do I use it? So, I'm not, I wasn't born in technology, right? I, it, to learn, we used to have encyclopedias, like big, big encyclopedias from A to Z. In order to search something, we had to go through the encyclopedias. I've even got a book, which I had for my older daughter. I'll show you in a bit. It was, it was these two books, Tell Me Why and Tell Me Where. I used to teach my older daughter through this. So for education, we had books like this. But now, ilm or education is at our fingertips, right? It's on our phones. How do you utilize that? I knew nothing about Google. As I say, I learned through books. I had no idea what Google was, what Zoom was. My brother, um, he does a lot of different kinds of work. But one thing that he does, he's a he's like an ambassador of Google, and Google hires him, and he even went to Pakistan and did a Google workshop for a school. He went, I know he's gone to different countries. He's gone to Vietnam, he's gone to China. He talks in front of big audiences. So he knew about Google. So, so I learned at the age of 50. I'm 54 right now. I started 4 years ago. So I learned about Google. I learned about Google Slides. I learned about Google Doc. I learned about spreadsheets and all those things. So I put my course. Ilm is all in here. So what's in here? I put on Google. My French education is all here. I used to design Google Slides to teach my children. I call them my children. Even the adults are my children, right? And they're my French students. So I open up Zoom, I share the slides. I teach them via slides, and I use Google Doc to teach them. Like I use Google Doc like a whiteboard. Do you understand how I teach? Like Google Slides are the books. Google Slides become the book through which I teach. I make the book, I design the course, and through Google Doc is like the blackboard, and through Google Doc, I teach. I teach each and every concept.
Okay, yes, I understand.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
Okay, so my another question from you. What strategies do you employ to engage students of all ages in your French lessons?
I engage them by telling them stories. A language is just not a French language. There's a culture behind it, there's a history behind it, there's politics behind it. I've lived in France. I tell them stories from my childhood, from my I make it engaging. I ask them questions. I get their feedback. I make them feel comfortable. I because I'm passionate about it. Like I said, ilm ke saath amal. So I had the ilm. I'm doing the amal, which is the work, through Zoom and through Google Workspace. But I had to learn it too. So my education doesn't stop, right? Jazba zaruri hai, or jazba zaruri hai. Jazba is like my passion, right? I have a passion for this and I'm very good at it because of my passion. Like you're good at what you do because you're passionate about it. So I make it engaging. I make it fun. Grammar is so boring.
Okay, so yes, my another question from you. Can you describe the content and structure of your conversation classes?
Wow, that's a very hard question. Repeat it.
Yes. So my question from you. Can you tell me that can you describe the content and structure of your conversation classes?
Wow. Okay. Very hard question. You're so smart and you're giving me such hard questions. I feel not smart at all, but let me think. So, language has grammar, vocabulary, comprehension. Grammar, you need to make a grammar, you need to understand the rules. Vocabulary is loves words. You need the words behind it. Comprehension is whether the student is understanding it or not. So these three are there. And only when you have the words and the grammar behind it, only then you can make a sentence. And my students have to understand it. So that's the comprehension part. And then comes the conversation, like you and I are having a conversation. But in order to have a conversation, you need to have words, you need to have vocabulary.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your amazing answer. And what are your plans for expanding your conversation classes into a French club?
Oh, wow. I'm so impressed by you, Hijab. Um, so, how do I expand it? So, um, I'm not very technological savvy, right? My brother tells me to put it on Upwork. That's why I want to learn Upwork from you. But I can do one on one. I don't feel as if the world is watching me, right? Right now, it's just Hijab who's watching me. I feel like, right? So I can be myself, but I'm scared. I'm scared of putting myself in front of the world. So that's why Upwork scares me. But I think whatever we're scared of is how we grow. Is your brother or sister
Yes.
bothering you?
Yes, my sister is here. So
You want to call your sister in front of the camera or no?
now she is watching the mobile.
Oh, you're so cute and adorable. So, how do I want to expand it? So, one way to expand it is expand it digitally. Put myself out there on YouTube. Put myself out there on Upwork. It's challenging, but that's how I want to expand it. Another way for me to expand it is I advertised for it first. I just started it, the conversation class. I started it in the summer, and I started it with a group of friends, and they all pay me. My time is money, right? They pay me a little bit. They all pay me. I started it with my friends and a few strangers. So I've got a small class right now, and word of mouth is a big thing. Word of mouth is big advertisement. So my sister-in-law who lives in San Francisco, I'm teaching her. She will go and tell her colleagues about it. My other friend or this stranger I'm teaching, they will tell other people about it. So word will spread by word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best form of advertisement. And I want to put myself out there digitally. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to put myself on YouTube. I'm going to put myself on Upwork. I already don't have time with my children and housework and jharu pocha and cooking and cleaning and driving. And my daughter does baseball. She goes for math tuitions. She's weak in math. I cannot teach her mathematics. I can teach her French, but not mathematics. I'm good at it, but okay. So, and we go out for fun as well. So I teach, and then I teach from 9 to 4 in the summer. In the during school hours, my work timings are different, but so I don't know where I'm going to find time to spread the word digitally. It's something that scares me, but I've done many things that are scary before. And at first they seem scary, but when you start doing it, it doesn't seem scary anymore. You know, the first time, my first interview was scary. My second interview is better. My third will be even better. My fourth will be even better. So if something scares you, if you're not good at something, learn about it. Education and learning is at our fingertips right now. What a better example than Rehan School, right? You, you're 14 years old. You're already working. You're already learning so much. And it's a skill. It's a skill that's going to serve you for the rest of your life, that this French skill is serving me, right?
Yes. So thank you so much for share some insightful knowledge to me and to my viewers. And thank you so much for giving me your time.
Thank you so much, Hijab. And do you want to learn French?
Yes, I want.
I'll teach you French, but in return, you have to teach me about Upwork.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful and honored and feel very privileged. Thank you so much, Hijab. Keep on doing the
Okay.
beautiful work.
Okay, thank you so much.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye
Khudafez.
bye. Allah Hafiz.